Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Treepunchers. And as you can see, between episodes I built the copper farm. This is exactly the same place where the zombie spawner farm was before, just decorated a bit differently and built up to drown the zombies with a bit of a collection system back here, just for heads and copper. Everything else is, well, burned actually. It's still the same collection system for the zombies, but now instead of being brought to the player, they fall down here. And as they pass through, they are sorted into one of two lanes here. And then brought up, where they get into this bit of water. Because their heads are in the water, they are drowned here. This happens roughly about halfway through this construction. And it's something that I found, I think, in a Gnembom video, but I'm not really sure about that. The same video also gave me the idea to use snow golems to shoot at the zombies and later at the ground to get them to spawn reinforcements, which happens right here. Occasionally there is one. With the two lanes, this gets full rather quickly, but it takes a while before this gets going. So when you come down here, it's like 2 or 3 minutes before the first drowned fall down. And there's also a problem during the night, like we have now, because when it's night, the drowned become aggressive and they try to attack the snow golems and try to run up again. Now, I don't use water here because it wouldn't do anything. Drowned are able to walk against the water current. So what I do instead is I just rely on the drowned mechanics during the day, and when it's day outside, drowned will actually try to get to the nearest water. So I installed a small water basin here and trapdoors so that the drowned will try to walk back here. And then they fall down. Works much more efficiently during the day. All of the drowned that fall down here will now see that they can't reach anyone, and then after a second or so they try to go into the water. And even though this does produce a lot of drowned, the rates for copper are... And Lumi and I also built a gold farm. This is modeled after the mango design, and I didn't watch a video, so this may not be exactly the same. This is done from memory, I think. Some things are different. And up here is actually where I want to start this episode with the first build project, because I also want a bartering farm, a gold bartering farm up here. So I'm not quite sure why I'm doing this up here, except for style. Yeah, bringing pigment up here will be a pain in... Yeah, but I think having the storage system up here right next to the gold storage will be helpful, so that you don't have to run around to different places in the Nether. Step 1, get some piglins. And I've got 6 of them. And I put them in some kind of corridor that I designed with a couple of colors that I want to use when I transform this whole thing into something else. Well, I wrap it into some structure that looks a bit nicer than this glass. Next step will be to hook this thing up to the gold storage so that it can draw directly from here. Non-stackable item filters are going to go below here. And then I will build a storage back here for... I think I need 17 slots at least, so that's going to be quite a long line of chests. So we don't have a lot of iron left, I think. Nah. Okay, so time for an iron farm. And I'm done. At least, I hope. It's just this bit here with 12 villagers in 4 groups. And I hope that it works when I switch this lever. That's a good sign. And they're going right. Let's see if the iron gets delivered where it should be. And there it goes. And with enough iron for hoppers, I can finally return to the bartering farm. Lumi has rebuilt some of the starter area. There is a new house here, the fields have changed, there's a pier, and I think the house is from some YouTube video, I'm not sure, except for the inside. And a lot of details have changed as well. And then there's also this, a 3-chunk slime farm, which isn't even fully built out yet, so I think it's 4 levels for slime spawning, and we can add another, I don't know, 5 or 6 here. And the storage chests and the redstone for the filters is done, although the filters are not set up yet. The next thing is the filters for the non-stackable items. And just a couple of weeks later, I'm finally done. I had to remodel this a couple of times because I underestimated how many items those 6 pigmen would produce. So I actually had to add 3 separate non-stackable item filters, as otherwise stuff backing up would have clogged the item filters, and things that I want to sort upstairs would have fallen down to the unstackable items. And there is a sorter here for water bottles and fire resistant potions. It's, I think, an Il Mango design that I found on the net. And everything else is just cobbled together here. It's a couple of glass item elevators that I built here. One for gold to be pumped up to the piglins, and 2 for the items that are produced. I actually needed to keep up with everything. And then they are just caught up here, and 2 droppers pump then down onto the ice lane where they are just shot across the item sorter here. And this is all set up with different items right now. Things like gravel have 2 or 3 lanes, so, and other things back here like string is something we don't really need, or crying obsidian, and obsidian is just things that just got 1 slice each. And then there are some with 2, I think. Yeah, some are in here. Some are 3, some are 2, some are 1. And some things are just outright burned. And down here, initially I wanted to add an item filter to sort out the boots and just burn them. But I didn't want to do that anymore. After I saw what this required, it's just wasn't worth it. I can just sort out the soul speed books here, and the rest just gets burned. And all of that means that I can update the plan again. Well, I could have updated it last episode. The iron farm is done. Zombie piglin farm is done. We do have a villager trading hall, although I should probably add some things. And I've started the mountain base. Now, what we have left here is a guardian farm, a moss farm, and that is something Lumi added, I don't know, overflow from vegetable farm. It's probably making bone meal out of melons and pumpkins. I want mason trading. So I have to build a masonry building up at the volcano. I also need a wither skeleton farm, because I'm a sucker for beacons, and as you can see, there is no beacon yet because I'm exceptionally unlucky when it comes to wither skeleton skulls. I've been running around killing them, and all I've got is 2 skulls. After hours of fighting with the skeletons, just 2. So with the skeleton farm. And I also want smiths trading, a 3rd building for the volcano city. And there's also something behind the plan that has changed. There are no icebergs left. And that's not because we removed them. The reason is that this is now 1.18. It really took that long to make the gold farm at Bartering. Yes, we switched to 1.18 and everything outside of our starting island has been reset. So all of this here is new and unexplored. And so is everything in all directions. And there's probably also something down below. And that's where I'll go next. And just coming down here to the creeper farm, I just realized that this thing will not work anymore. This is probably too... Yeah, that... I know the top level will probably work, but the levels below it, they won't be able to work. Right, that is a problem. I'll have to do something about that. Because the light levels are now... much more difficult to handle for farms like these with the Nether portal. Oh! I arrived at the spider farm. So yeah, I started digging out the space under the creeper farm. Because since I can't really use the ender portals, the nether portals anymore, I will just switch to dropping the creepers down. And while I was digging, I managed to find this, and it opened up into quite a bit of one of the newly generated caves down here, from a small one into a bigger one, into an even bigger one, and I think I spent like 4 or 5 hours down here lighting things up, and I believe I haven't even managed to do all of that yet. There are still spaces that are suspiciously dark. And when I see Lumi has found this part too, she dug down here. Yes, so I spent a couple of hours down here. And as you can see, there is still quite a lot to find. The parts I explored already are somewhere back in this direction. All of that appears lighted up now, that's where I went. And I must say, I like this. I like the new cave generation very much. There are very interesting things down here. Still, for the creeper farm, this is a bit of bad news because I will have to light up quite a lot of stuff down there. But this is going to be something I will do between episodes. And for now, I will say goodbye. Oh, and by the way, I also got lucky just when I was complaining about it. I got the third skull.